If you're watching this video, you already know that discipline is the difference between the life you're living now and the life that you're capable of living. Because motivation fades and talent without consistency is completely wasted, discipline is truly the only thing that can consistently create opportunities for you in your life. And one of the greatest things about discipline is that it's not something you're born with. It's not a genetic gift. It is a trainable, buildable, and repeatable system that you can develop over time. I'm going to walk you through a 6-pillar discipline system that you can implement starting today to build discipline fast and keep it for the rest of your life. And this isn't theory. This is the exact way that high performers install discipline into their lives, including athletes, elite entrepreneurs, military operators, and world-class creatives. So let's get it done. Pillar number 1 starts with your identity and your standards. Most people try to build discipline by forcing themselves into action, but the most disciplined people that you may know don't start with action. They actually start by building an identity around the goals that they have for themselves. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your identity is a system. This isn't always easy, but one of the simplest ways to shift your identity is in adjusting how you speak to yourself. Instead of telling yourself, I want to be more disciplined, or I'm trying to be consistent, tell yourself, I am the type of person who keeps promises to myself, and I follow through on what I say I'm going to do, no matter how I feel. I recommend saying these things out loud to yourself and writing them down every day in your journal or the notepad on your phone. And doing this every single day is going to reinforce these thoughts and these beliefs into your own mind, and you will start to feel it more and more every day. And when you're working on shifting or setting your internal standards, ask yourself about the version of you that you want to become. What would the disciplined version of myself do right now? What would they do today? How does the disciplined version of myself think? What do they eat? How do they act? What would they be doing right now while the current version of myself is distracted, possibly scrolling on social media? Goal setting is a great foundation for shifting your identity because you're putting yourself in the mindset of what you want to accomplish. And when you know what you want to accomplish, you can start to envision that future, more disciplined version of yourself, that ideal version of yourself. And that's how you can start to shift your standards to what that person would do, growing from and improving from what you're doing right now in your current state. Essentially, goals say what you want, and standards decide who you become. Your exercise for this first pillar is to determine 3 non-negotiable standards that you want to implement into your life starting right now. Your first standard could be waking up at the time that you set for yourself and not just the time that you feel like waking up. Standard number 2 could be moving your body every day, even if it's just for 5 or 10 minutes. And standard 3 is keeping every promise to yourself that you make throughout this day or this week. No matter how big or how small it is, if you say you're going to do something, actually get it done. Pillar number 2, micro discipline reps. You may have experienced a time in your own life where you set a really big goal for yourself and you tried to get it all done all at once, only to then feel overwhelmed, burnt out, and abandon the effort completely. At that time, you may have realized that discipline isn't built by large, heroic jumps toward your goals, but it's actually built by tiny reps, repeated daily on a consistent basis. Think of discipline just like a muscle. When you go to the gym, you don't go from bench pressing 100 pounds to 150 all at once. You have to do the reps consistently and build that muscle week after week. So consider making micro commitments to yourself starting today. I recommend starting small so that your brain doesn't reject it right from day one. This could mean doing 5 push-ups today instead of aiming for 50. If you're trying to write a book, just write 1 page instead of aiming for 30. That could be reversed even if you're trying to start reading more often. Read 1 page. Don't aim for 30 or 40 pages all at once. Maybe you want to get into meditation, and instead of doing a 20-minute meditation, which seems like it's a waste of time, maybe it seems boring to you, aim for just 2 or 3 minutes to get into the habit. If your goal is to improve your diet, don't overhaul every single meal that you have in a single day. Try eliminating 1 unhealthy food or replacing 1 entire meal with a healthier meal. But start small and build the habit. The reason this works is because your brain naturally resists big change. It wants to keep you comfortable and it wants to keep you secure. And a big change means your life is changing, your life is shifting. It isn't what it used to be, and it wants to stay where it used to be. So when you try to go too hard, too fast, your brain says, this is too much, I quit. We can't handle this right now. This isn't who we are. But implementing this micro discipline will actually bypass that mental resistance. I learned this strategy a long time ago that I think could help you with maintaining your micro discipline every day. I'm not sure if there's an official name for it, but today we'll just call it the chain technique. If you have a physical calendar on your desktop or your wall, for example, what you want to do is start off by taking that mini action or that mini discipline on that particular day. And once you've done it, you're going to mark an X on that day, just like this. And the next day, you're going to take that same action, that same mini discipline, and again, cross the day out with an X. And your goal is to take that mini action, 5 push-ups every day. Maybe you increase it to 6, maybe 7, but take the actions every day in order to extend that chain. And your only goal is to look at that calendar every day and make that chain as long as possible, just crossing X's on every day that you take that action. It's a simple way to keep yourself focused and to visualize yourself being consistent with your own goals. Your exercise for pillar number 2 is that. Pick an exercise, pick a discipline that you want to maintain on a daily basis, and start building that chain. Pillar number 3, environmental engineering. We all have some level of willpower, and your environment, all the things around you, will directly affect how easy or how hard it is to apply that willpower any given day. If you tell yourself, I'm going to eat more healthy foods, but you have unhealthy foods in your fridge or in your pantry or your cupboards, you're going to have to exercise more willpower to avoid those things, rather than just shifting your environment and completely taking those unhealthy things out of the environment to make it a lot easier for yourself to avoid them. Your environment should force discipline and actually make it easier for you to reach your goals and to improve yourself. A few of the things that most people have trouble staying disciplined with are consistent workouts, eating healthy foods, and staying focused at work. So how can we engineer our environment to improve our discipline with these things? First, when it comes to working out, consider laying out your workout clothes the night before. Maybe leave them on the edge of your bed or leave them right at your door so that when you wake up, you see them and you can immediately get changed and start your workout. When it comes to eating healthier, remove all of the junk food from your home. This may seem like you're wasting money at first and you may be hesitant to doing this for that reason. But I promise you, your health is more important than the money you spent on groceries last week. Empty out your fridge, empty your cupboards, throw all of the unhealthy food in the garbage and take it out immediately. And keep in mind that when you do groceries the next week, not to buy those unhealthy foods again. And to stay more focused at work, the easiest thing you can do is to install app blockers or app timers to your phone. So maybe when you're on Instagram, after 5 minutes, the app closes. Or maybe it doesn't open up during a certain time block altogether. Keep in mind that your environment isn't just the things around you, but the people as well. If you want to be more disciplined and improve your life, consider surrounding yourself with people who are already achieving the things you want to do. Or they're doing their own big, ambitious things, but you want to be around that energy to motivate you to do the same. Willpower shifts. Willpower comes and goes and fluctuates in the morning versus the evening time. But your environment is what you can set for yourself, and it's going to directly affect your discipline. So shape your environment for the person that you want to be. Pillar number 4, time and attention control. I've talked about this a lot in previous videos, but your discipline falls apart when your time is uncontrolled. The most disciplined people don't necessarily try harder. They just control their time in a better way. Time blocking and setting attention guardrails are going to be the 2 best strategies to maintain full control of your time and attention. Like I mentioned, I've talked about time blocking and the power behind structuring your schedule in a previous video. So I'll just leave a link to that, probably in one of the cards at the top of the screen here, and you can watch the full video on what that means for your life. But I do want to stress that having a routine in your day removes that negotiation with yourself. If your day is structured and you know what you're doing during every hour of the day, even scheduling your free time or your unstructured time is going to help you to make large strides in your life and to build and reinforce that discipline within yourself. Pillar number 5, friction and consequence systems. If there's no pain in quitting something, your brain will often default to wanting to quit. You need to self-impose a friction to failure and a reward system when you succeed. Here are a few examples of failure friction systems that you could implement right now. Put $100 in a jar and donate it to a charity or a cause that you don't agree with if you miss your habit. Tell someone your goal and give them permission to check in on a daily or a weekly basis. Delete all entertainment apps from your phone during weekday work hours and only install it for the weekends. I do want to reinforce here that while you're building your discipline, this pain isn't punishment, it's accountability. And while you're building that discipline, there will be reward systems as well, because small wins deserve recognition. Track your streaks over time. Celebrate consistency and not perfection. And reward your efforts, not just the results. This is just a quick side note if your goal is to be more disciplined when it comes to fitness, eating healthier, working out, etc. If you've had a full week of working out consistently and eating the right foods for yourself, don't make your reward something sugary, like a snack or some kind of treat, or drinking a lot of alcohol on the weekends. These things will actively undo all of the work that you did in that previous week or the previous month. So again, don't reward healthy habits with unhealthy habits. Pillar number 6, emotional discipline and internal dialogue. This is the most undervalued pillar. Discipline isn't just about doing things when life is smooth, when things are going well for yourself. Anybody can do that. It's easy. Real discipline is performing under emotional weather, when you're feeling tired, stressed, bored, or especially unmotivated. Improving your self-talk is going to help you to improve your discipline and remind you of where you want to be, the person that you're developing within yourself. Instead of saying, I don't feel like it, tell yourself, this is who I am. Instead of saying, I'll start tomorrow, tell yourself, I'm going to get this done right now. And when you experience a challenge, remind yourself that challenge is how you grow. Your inner voice can either reinforce the bad habits you're trying to get away from, or it can coach you toward growth and that future version of yourself. One of the best tips I can give you to build that resilience, no matter what comes your way, is to do something hard or challenging every single day. Take a cold shower. Wake up a little bit earlier than you normally do. Have a hard workout or implement a new workout routine. Make a public accountability post on social media, just telling people what you've accomplished so far. Make a difficult phone call. You're not doing these things because they're fun. You're doing them because they're going to build that mental power. Here's your challenge for the next 30 days. Choose your identity. Set 3 non-negotiable standards. Do 1 micro habit every day. Track your streak using the chain method. Remove distractions. Seek friction and accountability. And train discomfort like a muscle. Do this and you won't just become disciplined. You'll become unrecognizable. Let's get it done.